Okay, hi guys, this is Mr. Manning, and this video is going to be about how to do these things called functions, which a function just allows you to perform a mathematical operation over several numbers or groups of cells a little bit more easily than typing out an entire formula or equation. And then we're also going to review how to do a percentage. So we're going to start with finding the total. As you can see, I've got my Magic Bean coffee. I've got all of my drinks over here on the left, the days of the week up here, and all of these numbers represent how many of each drink we sold each day. So let's imagine that my boss says, I would like for you to find out the total amount of drinks that we sold for each type. So like the total for vanilla latte, the total for espresso, and so on. So we're going to go over here to the I column, and we are going to put in a title. The title is really important. If you don't put a title here, then if you have a whole bunch of numbers that show up right here, anybody else that's looking at this spreadsheet would have no idea what those numbers represent. But if the word total is above them, then usually they can figure out that that's what they are. All right, so we're going to create this thing called a function, and a function is just like kind of a fast way to do the same mathematical operation to a group of cells. So we've done this way before. We've done the equals, plus, plus, plus thing, and that totally works. However, imagine if you had like an enormous group of cells that was maybe like 100 or 200 or 5,000 long. You would definitely not want to sit there and go equals plus 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 over and over and over again. So instead, Google Sheets allows you to do a function. And to perform a function, you have to first select the area that you want to do that function on. So I'm going to do the total for vanilla latte. So I am going to select B3, because that's the total that was sold on Sunday. Left click, drag, and I'm going to select all the way over to H3. So that includes every single day that we sold vanilla lattes. After I select those, I go to this little icon right here. You can see that the little window came down and says functions. I'm going to click on it, and they have some of the more common ones listed, and the one that we're looking for is sum. Sum allows you to add all of these numbers together. So I'm going to click sum. Google Sheets creates this little formula. It says equals sum and then parentheses, and it has the cells that we are including. So B3, which is the cell on the far left, H3, which is the cell on the far right. I hit enter, and Google Sheets tells me that there is 240 for that particular drink, vanilla latte. I can still use autofill, so I can still hover my mouse above this little box, do a left click and drag, go all the way down to white chocolate mocha, and it will automatically total up all of these numbers for me. All right, let's do the exact same thing, but this time we will do it for the days of the week. So I am going to select all of the drinks that were sold on Sunday. I'm going to go to the function symbol, this little kind of sigma E looking thing, and I'm going to choose sum. Puts in my box. You can see that this orange box is around all those letters or numbers. I hit enter, and I sold 395 drinks on Sunday, and I autofill all the way across, and it puts in all of the numbers for me. Quick little tidbit where the total column and the total row intersect. So total column is right here on column I, total row is 12. So on I-12, this number, this is your grand total, and that will become important when we do percentages in a moment. So I am actually going to use my cell shading. I'm going to make it yellow so that I don't lose it. And this 2,830, that represents all of the drinks that we sold for the entire week, no matter what type of drink it is. Okay, let's find average. All right, so let's say that my boss comes back and says, well, on average, how many vanilla lattes do we sell each day? You can also use a function for this. So I am going to first select all of the sales for vanilla latte, Be careful with averages. Don't include the total. That's a common mistake some people make. If you include the total, your number is going to be way too high. So I am just selecting Sunday through Saturday. I am clicking on the sigma thing again, and I'm going to choose average. All right. And it is going to say average, and then it's going to say the cells that I'm working with. So I hit enter, and it actually put the average kind of in the wrong spot. I want this average to be one more over, so I'm going to drag it over to here. All right. You'll notice on an average, a lot of times Google Sheets will give you a really long decimal place, and sometimes you don't want that many positions. I don't need to know 34.28571 drinks as my average. So I can usually, reduce that down to like the 10th or the 100th. And to do that, I can use these buttons right here, increase and decrease decimal. So I'm going to decrease the decimal so that it goes just down to the 10th. So I can tell my boss, well, on average, we sell 34.3 vanilla lattes a day. And I can drag this down, and it shows me all of the averages for each drink. Okay. Finally, let's look at percentage. Percentage tends to be one that gets a little confusing for people. So first of all, on percentage, there is no function for percentage. So unfortunately, we're going to have to do this by using an equation or a formula. They're the same thing. And to find the percentage, you have to figure out first the thing that you want to find the percentage of, and then you need to compare it to like the grand total or the overall total. So on this example, let's do vanilla lattes one more time. And let's say my boss this time says, what percentage of our total sales is vanilla lattes? Okay, this would be a common question that a business owner would ask because they might want to find out like what their best seller is, or what's the drink that they rely on the most, or maybe if there's a drink that's not performing very well, maybe they decide to get rid of it. So I put my cursor in cell K3 because that's where I want my percentage to appear. I'm going to type equals because I want Google Sheets to know that I'm about ready to do some math. I am going to divide the total number of vanilla lattes by the grand total. So I'm going to choose vanilla lattes, which is I3, and I am going to divide the backslash by the grand total, which is I12. I hit enter, and I get a really large decimal place again. Now, you could do the whole multiply by 100 thing to make it a percentage, but the really nice thing about Google Sheets is they actually have a way that you can make this be in percentage format, and it will automatically do the multiplying for you. So I just go up here to this little percentage symbol, hit it one time, and now it converts it to percentage. So 8.48% is the amount of vanilla lattes that I sold, or that's my percentage for vanilla lattes. All right, now let's try to drag this down and see what happens. Let's autofill this thing like we've done on the others. Oh, all right, I have a little bit of a problem. I'm getting like this weird error message here. And it basically is saying I cannot divide something by 0. Okay, so we need to figure out, why does Google Sheets think I'm trying to divide by 0? And basically here's what's happening. When you do an autofill feature, Google Sheets automatically thinks that you want to just simply go down one more row. And usually that's totally fine. When you do a total, going down one more row works just fine. And when you do an average, going down one more row works just fine. But on a percentage, there's a problem. I want to divide my total by the grand total every single time. If I drag down, Google Sheets thinks that I want to divide the next one by the one that's beneath it. And right now, there is nothing beneath my grand total. So that's why it thinks that I'm trying to divide by 0. Now, if you wanted to, you could just simply type out every single one. You know, I could do equals this divided by this and hit enter, and it will work just fine. But if you're somebody that wants to save a little bit of time, or you have a whole bunch of these to do, there is a way where you can tell Google Sheets to always use this box. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So I click on the one that I just created. It shows me the formula right here, I4 divided by I12. I need to tell Google Sheets I always want to use I12. And the way you do that, it's kind of strange, but the way you do that is you put a dollar symbol in front of the I, and you also put a dollar symbol in front of the 12. So now it says I4 divided by dollar symbol I, dollar symbol 12. The dollar symbol simply says do not move this spot whenever I autofill. So I'm telling Google Sheets always use the I column, always use the 12th row. Now let's see what happens. So I hit enter. I still get the same that I had before, 14.73%. But this time when I autofill, it works. All right. Thanks for watching.